Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a Game of Thrones Q&A for today. The first one for this one, we're going to give our thoughts on Jon Snow possibly being confirmed as not a bastard in Episode 5 for Game of Thrones Season 7, and also what that means. What are the implications of that going forward? And spoiler warning if you guys are not caught up for Game of Thrones, which is up to Season 7, Episode 5. So definitely wanted to do a video on this one with you guys and do a Q&A for this one. Sorry I didn't get a Game of Thrones video done yesterday. Really had to just knock out a Walking Dead video, which was really crazy. That AMC, of course, is being sued for upwards to possibly $1 billion. So if you are a Walking Dead fan, you didn't catch that video, it's in the channel right now. Definitely want to check it out because it is it's really crazy. So for this one, Jon Snow, the true heir to the throne, question mark. This one was sent in by a couple people Sunday night. Jessie Bristol and then Joshua Talbot also asked kind of the same question, wanted to hear my thoughts on it. And Jessie said, really loved the Easter egg when Gilly was talking about Rhaegar having the Maester annul his marriage, confirming that Jon Snow is a legitimate Targaryen and true heir to the Iron Throne, because Rhaegar obviously married Lyanna. And then also Josh said, hey Trev, what about the Easter egg Gilly dropped about Rhaegar's annulment and secret wedding? Is this confirmation that Jon is not a bastard after all? So yeah, I mean, it is. You know, it is. If it's true, and of course it wouldn't be written if I would say if it wasn't, it is true, then this is kind of a switch for us, and it would be also for Daenerys if this information gets out. So if this information gets out, then, you know, they would know that Jon is actually, as we know now, rightful heir to the throne. So it is really his over Daenerys, I want to say. It's rightfully his due to just kind of the lineage and, you know, the males and how it goes. Now, obviously, none of this will matter if Jon and Daenerys get together anyway, and Jon is sort of king of the north, that kind of deal. But it may have Daenerys kind of view him in a different light, and we can kind of see the start to a possible relationship between the two anyway. If you've seen like the behind the scenes, you know, footage, Game of Thrones channel they released with Emilia Clarke, and she's talking about it. It's kind of funny. You can check it out if you haven't seen it. But, you know, of course we can tell Daenerys likes Jon, obviously, and everybody likes Daenerys. So for Jon to like her bad, it's like whatever. It's kind of obvious. So it sounds like a great, you know, matchup. I really personally would like to see it in the series. I hope that's kind of where they're going with this. But of course, again, the old, you know, quote I've said it 1,000 times: if you think the story has a happy ending, then you haven't been paying attention. So we're gonna have to see, man. We're gonna have to see. Of course, the information isn't out there. We don't know if Sam grabbed that book with Gilly when they left. It seemed like he probably would, because Gilly seemed to be really into the book, interested in the amount of steps things have, the amount of windows, you know, and she's all like excited, like it's so exciting to learn about this kind of stuff, which is kind of funny. So it's one of those, like, if it does get out there, then it could have an effect on the story, and we'll have to see how it does. Of course, information now in the Game of Thrones world, because you have Bran, who's got all these visions and all this stuff that he knows that he's not supposed to really know, or he wasn't able to get a point of view from throughout time. You know, it should have an effect on the story. It should have an effect on how things go, because now you have this kind of portal for information to get in and to verify things. So it's pretty cool. We'll see if it ever comes out that that's the way it is. But if Jon and Daenerys get together anyway, and they're like king and queen or whatever, and they're in a relationship, they get married and what have you, then it's not really going to matter anyway. So it's what it is. It's pretty cool. But I mean, you know, it's something that we'll have to see what they do with it. It could be something big, but at the same time, it could just be whatever. I mean, really, I would think, like, you know, if you're going to go with the happy ending route, then you probably have Jon and Daenerys together, you know, ruling together. I would think that would be like the happy fan base, safe way to go if you want to make everybody happy in the end, or at least majority. Not everybody likes it, but majority of people. Next one was, I really enjoyed this episode. One thing I instantly noticed during the intro is that the water no longer looks frozen next to Eastwatch. Also, at the end of the episode, when it shows Eastwatch, you can see a ship docked. And that's true that they did arrive on a ship as well, too. So not all the water can be frozen. Maybe it was a mistake that it looked frozen around the wall in the previous intros. It could be. It's something that we've pointed out, that maybe the White Walkers, if the water's frozen, it's ice, then they could just walk around the wall. But it seems like from this episode, Eastwatch, it doesn't look like that's the case. So that's a nice catch and something to notice. So we'll have to see how the White Walkers are going to be able to get over the wall, because it's going to be a bit tricky for them. Also, this should be exciting because when the group is running back, we'll have to see if they're able to close the doors in time to stop the White Walkers from getting through. But I would tend to think that somehow, some way, they're going to get through, because we don't have that much time left in the series. I mean, 2 episodes this season, and then you get 6 next year. That's, they probably got to get across pretty soon, I would think. It probably can't be that long until they actually get through. So it's got to happen pretty soon. Does not look like the Army of the Dead will be marching past the wall over frozen water. I had previously thought that based on episodes 1 to 4. Yeah, me too as well. Showing what looked like frozen water combined with the deleted line from Sandor Clegane in episode 1. So I agree 100%, and maybe that's not how they're going to get across. Maybe there'll have to be some other way, magic or something of the sort. I would think some kind of magic's got to be involved for them to get through. And I think they'll probably get through pretty soon. I think before the end of this season for sure. Mike M says, Trev, do you think Bronn is in trouble and could be faced with a trial by combat situation that he avoided in an earlier season, i.e. Cersei arrests him and has him face the mountain in trial by combat? Oh man, that would be so bad. That would be just so cruel for her to, sit there and watch. And if she did that, that could be something that they could use to turn Jaime against her, because that would be something where if she was that cruel to kill Bronn or to punish him in such a way, or to, put him in a trial by combat that he basically cannot win against somebody like the Mountain, the fan base will really want Cersei. Like, everybody pretty much hates Cersei already. She's a great bad guy. She's easy to hate. But if she does that to Bronn, the fan base is going to want blood like right away, because Bronn is one of the most popular characters in the whole show. And if she does that, it's just going to be like, man, he fought for you, he took on a dragon for you, and now you're going to do this? So, I really hope that's not the direction they go with, and they don't make Cersei do that. I really hope that some of what Cersei's saying is true, and that she might put the sword down for a little while, at least. It may not be, but man, I really don't want to see anything bad happen to Bronn. I hope he's a series survivor, but we're going to see, man. This is Game of Thrones. Fernando Alvarez Brown says, Q&A for Game of Thrones. What if Arya was trolling Littlefinger, meaning she knows, that he's watching over her and what he's doing, leading her along? That would be awesome to see. Don't think we'll get to see that, but it would be great. Would love to hear your thoughts on it. That's from Fernando. So I wouldn't be surprised, because Littlefinger may not know the extent of her abilities and what kind of training and things that she's been involved in. Of course, she's been through some really dark stuff. So I don't think it's that easy to fool her or trick her. I mean, her and Sansa have always been at odds, so she probably will be pissed off. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if Arya was the one here that wound up on top when it comes to Littlefinger, because she is very cunning, she's very skilled, and she's been through some stuff to where Littlefinger, his tricks may not work on her. So we're gonna have to see, man. But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe could she be the one to kill Littlefinger in the end. Wow, that would be nuts, because he is super dangerous, and he is kind of a villain in the series. And right now he hasn't really done anything that would warrant us to want him to be killed, but he is a villain from early on, and he's not really in it with anybody. So if they're going to kill him off in the show, I would think that, maybe Arya could be the one to do it. We'll see. Maybe that's what they're building up to. We'll have to see how that goes. Josh Berry says, Q&A Trev, did you notice how Varys is sympathizing with the traitors he outed? I believe he will still betray Daenerys. This one's kind of stupid, I think, not your comment, Josh, but the way that Varys is feeling, I would think he's smart enough to know that when you want to keep command, sometimes you have to make an example out of people, and that's exactly what Daenerys did. And you notice that after she did that, all the rest bent the knee instantly. She's kind and everything like that, and she's nice and she's good-hearted and all that. But when it comes to command, you have to show your strength. You have to show your power. You don't want other people below you not taking you seriously, or thinking that you're a pushover, or that she's a wimp or something, and what's she going to do even if we do something wrong? She does have to show that she's fair, but in the opportunity, given that situation, she will not hesitate to punish brutally those people. Otherwise, Cersei is going to, she'll lose command of her own men, and you can't have that. So where Varys is coming from, I view as completely unfounded, but I do think, of course, because he knows the history of the Mad King and everything, maybe he's a bit scared of just how powerful Daenerys really is. And I just think it's misplaced and a little bit kind of foolish, to be honest with you. But he is a bit worried, but at the same time, it's like, well, she could have just, attacked with all 3 dragons, King's Landing, and just burnt the whole damn place to the ground and, smashed it. So she didn't do that, so you should be happy that she didn't. We'll do like 1 or 2 more. Create Till Death says, Trev, Q&A. They've been avoiding major character deaths a little bit so far in the action scenes. For example, Jaime, Bronn, Daenerys all lived through episode 4. Do you think they'll get killed off? Someone in the fight against the White Walkers next week? I don't see how they can get away with not killing someone in that encounter. But also, there aren't many expendable characters in that crew. Gendry and Jorah just showed back up, so they're probably safe. They might get injured or something like that. Yeah, that's true. But I do agree that they just got back. It would be weak to kill them off so quickly. Do you have any death predictions for next episode? Well, the only one I can think of out of the ones that are leaving that I would probably go with, like the Hound, I think is safe for the series. I think he's a series character. Jon Snow, I think, is safe. The others that you mentioned here, Gendry and Jorah, they just got back. So that leaves you with a couple. Tormund is a lot of fun, and Tormund kind of represents the wildlings. So if they kill Tormund off, they won't have that key character to represent them, and they kind of need that. But the others, I would say the Brotherhood Without Banners, Beric Dondarrion, and Thoros Samir, I would not be surprised if either of them were killed off. Beric's been killed off a whole bunch of times. Thoros Samir being killed, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they did that. That makes a lot of sense. For Beric, it might make sense too, but he's got some great lines. Like the line that he has in this promo is wicked cool, and he's pretty badass to see fight with the sword too. So, but I would not be surprised if they killed off either of them. There's my death predictions for you. But as far as everybody else in Westeros goes, Bronn, and I just really hope not. The others, man, trying to predict, I'm not into spoilers, trying to predict this series is like fucking impossible. Because I didn't even think they were going to go this direction with it. I had a set in my mind that it was going to be Cersei and the others and building up to a battle in the finale, and that being it, and then the Night's King next season. And that's not what they did at all. Now we're dealing with the White Walkers like right in front of us. So, yeah, trying to predict this show is damn near impossible. But that'll be it for today's video, guys. Let me know what you guys think, and the information about Jon Snow being possibly the heir to, or well, he is, but it possibly getting out there and him becoming our number 1, so to speak. Write your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. And if you like this video, please don't forget, thumb it up below. You can also share. You can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, I'd appreciate it. Bottom left to subscribe. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, this is Trev. I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.